Welcome back to Conservative Conversations. I am your host, Reid.
And I'm Frank.
Today we are going to be talking to Manuel from the Stretchgoose Podcast again. And before we get started, I'd like to remind you to please follow on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for extra content, please become a paid subscriber to our podcast host, Red Circle. We would greatly appreciate it.
Well, then, to get started, I think we're just going to dive right in because I've actually been pretty excited to talk to you again to follow up. I enjoyed the conversation the first time, and we've been awfully excited by the election results, and so I thought I'd just start there and ask you, how do you feel about it?
Right now I feel mixed because Trump won roughly, well, now that they've all stopped counting, it's right about 50% of the popular. He won a pretty good electoral. He got a good chunk of the Senate. The House is still about 2 seats at this point. And it's mixed for me because it's like they gave him a mandate of sorts, and it's real if he really doesn't deliver. It just got I just got like this weird feeling like there's gonna be just a lame duck last 2 years or so. I just hope that Trump delivers and executes and does all the things he says he's gonna do. Otherwise the public will lose faith in future elections. Kind of like they do out here in California.
Well, I think that's a very interesting take. I mean, so let me ask you this. Have you found some hesitancy like with some of the cabinet picks that he's put out there? Like there's been a lot of that in the media, and I know, like Matt Gaetz already had to drop out, and there have been some other stories like that. So is that one thing that gives you pause and sort of a fear of his non-delivery, or is it something
No,
else for you?
no, it doesn't. It's just that his cabinet picks for me are a breath of fresh air because you're not getting a retread. You're not getting somebody who's been there for 50, 60 years. He's looking for fresh eyes, fresh opinions, and he's going to the weirdest places to get it. And if it pans out, you know, then he's a genius. But if it becomes a dumpster fire like the new FBI director, uh, uh,
Cash,
Patel, right?
Cash
Cat
Patel.
Cash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's assume that this goes, but it gets confirmed. But let's assume for a second that all his ideas fall flat and everybody, like, he's unable to turn the corner. It's like, okay, well then what is Trump going to do now? He can't really fire the guy because he doesn't like to be seen as a loser. So you're just going to get a below average FBI. And if Elon Musk recommend all his recommended recommendations of consolidation, if let's say all that gets to Trump's desk and he's like, yeah, this looks good, let's do it, and then he tells his cabinet to execute, let's if that happens and it all goes well, again, he's a genius. But if it is a dumpster fire, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I have my mixed feelings. Like, these are really good ideas that we haven't heard from a politician. It's very hard to execute them because you got guys like your Adam Schiffs, you got your Jerry Nadlers, you got your Pelosi's, you got your AOC's. They're all going to come up, you know, kicking and screaming with this. I just hope he can. I just hope he can jump it and get it done. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you know,
Well, I understand what you're saying, but um, it does seem like there's a huge push for this. I mean, Cash Patel may be talking about doing that within the FBI, but then you also have, Doge, the Department of Governmental
I
Efficiency
like I
or
like that he
whatever.
named it after his own Bitcoin or
I
whatever it
know.
was.
How do you like that? But you've got those two guys, the two billionaires who are supposed to cut the government down. Um, I know that there are people in the Congress themselves, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who want to cut the bloat, she's stepped up and said she'd love to be part of this Doge outfit that they're putting together.
Yeah, there's actually a whole like caucus, the Doge caucus in the House.
I wasn't aware of that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, but it's a small margin too.
Yeah,
It's only two.
yeah,
it's
that
only
is
two
true.
seats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
All you
saying
gotta
it
do
seems
is
to me like there could be very like there it seems like there's a lot of momentum going in anyway. So yeah, I mean I get what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying that there's they could fall flat, I guess, but hopefully they'll be able to do a lot. I mean, that's the idea. Turn this ship around, get us back into the black sort of a concept. So
yeah,
I'm still wishing them well and excited about that.
yeah, and I think Matt Gaetz was intentional. I have my running theory on this is everybody knew he was bad. Everybody knew that the report was bad. Even though the DOJ didn't prosecute, it's still a stain. And I just feel like Trump called him out to put pressure to get him out. So that way, I don't know, it's just the way it seemed to me. I don't know if you guys agree with that or if you guys are like that makes sense, but that's just how it seemed to me on the outside of it.
I think it's an interesting take. I haven't really heard that one, and it certainly isn't that far fetched.
No, not at all. And for our listeners, it's kind of a cool follow up because we have talked on the Matt Gaetz thing, and there were a lot of theories out there. Like my favorite one that we talked about was people were saying Trump was playing 4D chess and all of this, and that Matt Gaetz was never supposed to be AG, and that what's his name, DeSantis in Florida was gonna appoint Matt Gaetz to Rubio's Senate seat and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't think that's what was going on.
No,
So I do sort of like your version of it.
And Gates also said he's not coming back after that. So
Right.
I don't see him taking the Senate seat. But if I were to grade everything, like grade all the picks and stuff, I mean, he's definitely in a B plus, A minus area because a lot of these guys are well qualified to do it. But the massive knock is none of them have ever done it, and then you're just kind of sitting there, just taking every Democratic punch at this point until they actually prove it. So
Well, Trump was an outsider too who had never been president. So
yeah, so he might be onto something. And
Yep.
if it succeeds, then maybe the future, like your JD Vance gets 8 years, let's say, maybe he starts to pick out of the box too, and then you start to see a whole new wave of politician.
I think that's very exciting. I still believe that. I like what you said about we'll have to watch that it's not just a big lame duck, for the last 2 years. And I hope we will be able to keep up that momentum. But in that line, I also wanted to take it more towards California because I remember speaking to you before the election. We had talked about how blue California is and how you can almost take it for granted, in some cycles anyway.
Yeah.
But in this cycle, we saw huge change in California. And, I was just hoping maybe you could speak to that because it seemed more like you were hesitant of the idea that you would see this kind of progress. And to me, it looks like there's been a huge step forward.
Yeah, there was a surprise. I was shocked that the outer areas of or middle California, that whole area turned red. But
Right.
we still can't flip the large cities. We still can't do it. For the life of I just don't get I do not get how the larger cities are still like committed to this failure. And they did it again by electing for I don't know how, I don't know why, but Adam Schiff got to be a senator. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, he's a proven liar. He was taken off of his committees. He was censured. He had a pub tent for God knows how long on CNN talking about things he never presented as evidence in the first impeachment.
Yeah.
And he's a senator. Like how did he win that? It blew my mind. Even when I was watching the debate against that baseball player, he was just a smug piece of bleep, if you will.
Mhm.
and and he still got well over 60% of the vote. I was like, how the what? Anyway, and Pelosi, she won. That old rag won again,
Wow.
and she filed for the next cycle to run again. And she'll be what, 80, 82 at that point, or 80?
She's probably going to die in office.
She will.
She
She'll be a
might.
Feinstein.
She might. And they keep reelecting them. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why the major cities are still committed to this. And even in some of the local seats, I don't get it. I don't get it. But there, like you said, there are some successes. All in the central California, up north, the mountains, they all turn bright red. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, hopefully it trickles down into the cities.
Well, then you
We'll
also
see.
had the crime bill that was pretty big that you got, or what was it, Prop 36 maybe, or something like that, that passed
30, yeah, where
certain
it made the
crimes.
penalties a little stiffer on I might have to pull it up like the
Well, and I
exact.
think it's also they made the minimums lower for what qualifies to prosecute.
Yeah,
Because
it's essentially like a three strikes and you're out for shoplifting type
okay,
deal.
hmm.
It's progress. You can still steal up to a certain dollar amount and you can still be released, on bail or bond or what have you. And but the overall of it, I mean, it's a step forward. Like we're stiffening the penalties when you reach the threshold.
Yeah.
But I think it should have just been, you can't do this anymore. One shot deal, your ass is going to jail. But we're never going to get there. I just don't think California's going to get there.
Well,
Um,
part of the thing that I had heard and thought was very interesting on this was that Gavin Newsom apparently had run against this and had supposedly even tried to keep it off the ballot in the first place. Do you know if any of that's true? Because then you had some people in the media saying that for this to have passed with such a majority vote, they were calling it a referendum on Newsom himself. So I wondered if you might speak to that and if you see that. I mean, you guys have had the recall effort that failed. I know you're saying that Schiff just got elected again, Pelosi just got elected again.
yeah, yeah.
Gavin Newsom will probably stay there, I guess. But I just wonder
He'll
if you
finish his
see any,
term.
yeah. But I just wonder if you see any momentum towards maybe a change towards Newsom or less favorability, or like the people are, have had
What
enough.
the reason, the ultimate reason Newsom ran against it is because he did not want to be wrong. Because the original bill that was put up that passed were, under 900 something dollars, it's a misdemeanor. So to have a bill come out saying, no, we want to make that, you're wrong. We want to make this thing stiffer, even though there's some extra steps to it. He's not going to want to, he doesn't want to seem like, like he's wrong. He doesn't want to seem like it's a bad thing on him. So I understand why he pushed against it. It did pass. He's going to have to eat a little bit of crow on that. But, and I'm just talking about just optically for him anyway. I mean,
Right.
so, and then the other bill that was voted down was the minimum wage bill, which I was all in favor for. I think we should not raise it any higher than it is because he's already given $20 wages to to
The
fast food
fast
and
food.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we've
yeah,
talked about
fast
that
food,
before.
and and that has proven to be wrong. People are losing jobs and businesses are closing because of it.
Right.
So this bill, if it would have passed, it would have shot us from 16 to I think 18 an hour. That would have probably lost more jobs would have
Jobs.
been lost for that. My God, I can talk. Um, so that I think is positive. That's a step forward that the public recognizes what $20 did to the fast food. Let's not do $18 across the board and kill California entirely. And I'm hoping that these things I'm hoping that these things translate to when Gavin Newsom tries to run for president, where everybody can sit there and go, "Oh, I remember this dummy from back here. He did all this stuff." Kind of like what happened with Kamala. Like everybody go, "Oh, I remember this," and they just don't give him the job because he has set this state on fire.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's why it's turning red. No, but
Exactly.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
slowly but surely, but yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up, the 2028 run because I was probably going to go there myself. It seems like you do still think that he'll make a run for it on the national
Oh,
scale.
hell yeah.
Okay,
That guy,
and so
come on, yes. That guy does not know how to stay away from a camera. I mean,
well,
the
I
minute
think
Trump
it's
got elected, he ran around going, "Well, we got to get together and try to steal some money from here and move it over there so we can survive all the legal challenges." And it's like, and he had to be in front of the camera for that.
yeah. Well, he wasn't the only one. There were a few of them that had to
Oh,
step out there and say foolish things right away. We will fight this guy to the death, whatever.
They woke up Pritzker. He's like, "Yeah, oh, come on, dude, shut up."
Your little attorney general, though, I hadn't seen him until Trump won, and I can't say I like that guy very much. Your attorney general out there under Newsom, he seems like a fool to me.
You
I
know
don't,
what? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who he is. That's how. That's how.
I
That's
don't,
how.
I don't have his name right here, but when I saw the clips, he was one of them coming out saying, Trump's got to come through me. If he wants to harm the people of this state, he's got to come through me. And I'm looking
That was
at
our
him
attorney.
going,
That's our
what?
attorney general.
Well, there were a
Oh,
couple of them that said that same sort of moniker.
my God, I thought that was just some weirdo. That hold on,
You should look up yours.
I am absolutely doing it right now.
Yeah, he said something very similar.
Rob Bonta. That's his name.
As I recall, it's like some kind of little, maybe an Asian guy. It can kind of look Asian, if I'm
Yeah, it's
remembering.
Rob
Yeah.
Bonta. He's Filipino Asian. Yeah, Rob Bonta. I thought that dude was just like press secretary type. I didn't know he was the attorney general.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that was the
There you
first
go.
time I'd met him too, and can't say I'm very impressed.
I mean, he was not convincing when he was saying that shit either. He was like, "Oh, come through me, and I will." Yeah, no.
Yep.
Well, it's the same kind of story from the Denver mayor talking about how he's willing to go to jail.
Well,
Over
good.
the deportations.
Yeah.
If you're willing to die, die on that hill. By all
Well,
means.
Right.
let me ask you this to go back to Newsom for a second. Do you
Okay.
think he'd have a better shot than Kamala?
Yes, because he's actually a better politician. He's a little bit more snaky than Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll survive it a lot better if he had to get on the national stage. But I've also seen him in some debates too, where he's pressed so hard that he just gives up. So I don't know if he'll survive a JD Vance debate, but I know he'll be there. I know he'll get through the primary if he goes.
Yeah, he kind of intimidates me in a manner of speaking as far as that goes, because he does sort of have that charm and charisma of a car salesman or a snake oil salesman. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I know those people do a good business for themselves,
Yeah.
selling lies. So I don't know exactly who we would have that would have the same, be on the same par as him. So I guess we got to start getting ready if we're going to go up against Newsom. But
I mean, he's who they get? Who do the Democrats get? Hold on. It would be Hillary Clinton threw her name out there again. I read that.
Oh, give me a break.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and what was the other one? I know it was Newsom, Harris, Clinton. I know Buttigieg, but yeah, I say his name wrong. Buttigieg. Buttigieg. Anyway, he that's the fourth one that I know for sure. I know AOC is getting a push right now because she'll be old enough when it happens.
No, she's too ditzy.
It doesn't matter. Her following is way more than than Harris. Like she has got a lot of backing.
I mean, maybe
Whereas
for the Democrat Party, I don't think it'll matter, but she certainly isn't going to make it very far beyond the
nationally, I
party.
don't know, but I know she'll get through it. You know,
I
if
don't
she
know
does.
either. I know she's a fighter though, and she's very well respected by the people in her district. Have you
Yeah.
heard her interviews following her reelection or whatever? She said she had people who voted for her and Trump, and that kind of confused her, and she had to go to these town halls and sort of be like, how did I get your vote? Why did you guys split your ticket like that? And they're like, well, you fight for us.
And
So,
we don't think Harris would
yeah.
on the national stage. As simple as that. Oh. I mean, I'm just looking over our California. We did get some recalls, which I like. We recalled the Oakland mayor. We recalled the Alameda County DA.
Well, I know why you guys recalled your Oakland mayor. I mean, you guys have some huge issues out there in
Oh,
Oakland.
because Oakland is full of dummies. How do you lose every sports franchise? Just talk about that revenue loss right there.
Well, yeah.
Well, and then it's like I heard they're facing $120 million deficit going into the next year
Yeah,
already.
yeah. They're losing money. It was this administration and the administration before that in Oakland that lost all the sports revenue.
Mm-hmm.
The crime is going up. They can't seem to figure out what to do with the rail yard area. There's like a railroads and stuff. They want to develop it, but they don't know what to develop it with. They thought about the baseball team, but then the baseball Major League Baseball didn't approve the site because of not enough room for cars to park and stuff, and that ultimately killed that. There's just been so much stupid going on in Oakland that this is not a shock to me. Like you're not improving the citizens' lives. It's like one dumb after another, and that's not a shock at all.
Well, it's really surprised me when I was looking into it a little bit. I mean, I can't say I've looked into it a lot, but from what I could tell, what I was hearing, it seemed like they hung so much on the sale of that stadium that they've just almost shot themselves in the foot when they couldn't get that to go through. And uh,
Yeah, they
just,
don't. There's no backup plan in Oakland. They have dreams, they write it down, then they go and they have a little city council, they vote a little bit, then they go, okay, we're doing that, but what if it doesn't pass like an impact report or whatever?
right.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. Let's try to rework that, and then they don't get back to the other thing, and then they forget the other, then they forget that there was a dollar amount attached to the original deal, which now they have to figure out how to reduce. And
Yeah.
there, I don't know how they even get elected. I don't know why the citizens of Oakland even thought that these last two mayors were productively like going to help them. I guess I don't know. I mean, even their zoo looks like crap now. It does. I mean, just
I absolutely believe you. I just still, I'm just still wondering about why that wouldn't help continue to roll the momentum that we've seen in the right direction. I would hope for that. I mean, like, let me just put it to you this way. What do you think is Kamala Harris's popularity in California right now? Because there have been certain rumors floated around that maybe she'll take Newsom's spot or she'll run for something in California. So, what do you think about that? Do Californians have an appetite in the same way that they do for a Schiff and a Pelosi and a Newsom? Do you think they have an appetite for Kamala to come home?
I'm gonna say yes because they love to beat their head against the wall. There's no I would vote no, but that's just me. I mean, she does have quite an audience, quite a following in California. Um, she didn't survive the presidential primary long enough to for her own state to vote, but I just think that they'll vote her in because I I'll stick to yes. I'm not gonna try to even expand on it. I just yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, as far as predicting the future goes, that's good enough. Yes.
Yeah, Yeah, and then when California, completely disappears, you'll know why.
uh, well, I find all of that interesting. I mean, I really had hoped. I mean, I don't want to say pessimistic, but I'm going to use that word. I hope you know what I mean. But the last time we had spoke to you, it almost seemed like you had this sort of pessimistic, like California is just going to keep beating its head against a wall, kind of, vision for the future.
Right.
And so, following the election, I was curious to see how hopeful you were, but it sounds like you're very cautiously optimistic because you still look at your friends and neighbors maybe and think that they're addicted to stupid. At least that's what I'm hearing.
You are 1,000% correct. Yes, I am optimistic and marginally excited at the changes in the vote, the map, the counties that went red, but I'm still seeing the same areas blue, and it's mostly the major cities where all the dumb stuff is still happening. I'm hopeful, cautiously optimistic that it'll trickle into the cities and something will happen. I am agreeing with you.
Yes. No, I hear it. I hear it.
I
I
just-
understand. It's like we said them the last time. I mean, I can't imagine sort of being a pilgrim in an unholy land the way you are. I couldn't imagine being sort of the only reasonable person in a room full of unreasonable people. Like a lot of you closeted conservatives are out there in California.
I mean, we just to look at the presidential side, only 6 million of us existed and voted. That was it.
Wow.
Out of what has got to be at least 36, 37 million citizens out here, 6 million voted for Donald Trump.
Wow.
Very small number. We're a very small group. We're we are hiding in the mountains. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Bunkered
down.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do or what to say to convince any of these goofy people that what is happening. It's like in front of your eyes. I don't know what else to say other than to, punch them in the face and go, look. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a theme we talked about the last time we had you on. It's like for some reason they can't see what the correlation of what they're voting for and what the problems are right in front of them.
No. And now they're in Oakland, they're so mad they're recalling everybody. It's like, well, it's your choice. You did it. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, that was great. I don't know if there's anything else you'd want to throw in quickly. I know we're running a little low on time, but that was a great, follow up. I really wanted to get your opinion on some of those things. So,
Yeah, it was great, and thanks for having me come back for another round. I just hope and pray that because it's always major cities that have, a Democratic mayor or a Democratic city council or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually where all the issues are, and I'm just hoping, and I can only do is hope, is that their eyes will open one day. That's it. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know.
well, I don't know if you've seen the meme that's come out since this election, but they have one where it shows the entire county map, and
Yeah.
there's a little caption at the top that says, "There's no blue states, only blue cities."
Hmm.
So I think
It's
that
true.
moniker is kind of good for waking
Yeah.
people up and making them think about that.
Yeah.
Why is
I mean,
that the case?
I don't. Is all the cool stuff in the cities, and that's where they like to be? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. This is a puzzle that'll probably never get solved because there's too many of them, and it's just a numbers game. And the Republicans or slash conservatives, they've got to do a better job of recruiting, or else they're going to keep losing out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
that's just.
I agree. And it's like you said, they've got to deliver.
Yeah, they have to. You know, because in 2 years we're going to have the midterms, and if it's a complete dud, you're going to get a flip in the Senate and a complete flip in the House, and then you're going to see basically, deadlock traffic. Nothing will get passed.
Yep, exactly. Well, we appreciate you coming back on our show once more, and maybe we'll have you again in the future sometime. We enjoy talking to you.
Oh, it was nice talking to you guys too. It was great. And hopefully round 3 will be more exciting.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, well, listeners, show your support and go listen to the Stretchgoose podcast. And if you enjoyed this great conversation, please follow us on your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, and many more. You can also follow us and subscribe on YouTube. Just search at Conservative Conversations 92. We would greatly appreciate it.
That's right. And we wish Stretch Goose and all of our listeners happy holidays as we go into the season. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy holidays. Buy good presents this year.
That's right. And as always, we thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.